Scene shifts to the strongest sect of all ages, where Meng Ying and Awudi are squatting in front of the sect gate eating snacks. Behind the gate is an entire army lying flat on the ground waiting for the auspicious hour to wake up. Meng Ying says with a chuckle, "Brother Wudi, this feeling of waiting for others to come back to life is truly wonderful. Probably only the two of us get to experience it, right?" Hearing this, Awudi blurts out, "Meng Ying, before you say anything, I must admit, this feeling, I've had to taste it so many times in the past that I am sick of it." Awudi muses and recalls that as a story from a very, very long time ago. Memories take Brother Ha back to the land of eternal life. Amidst towering mountains, the two words eternal life echo continuously. A rebellious young Awudi is lounging on a grassy hill, wondering with annoyance what's so fun about this kind of eternal life. His old friend Gujoxi, sitting next to him, scolds him, talking nonsense. "That's because the one who attained eternal life is someone else. We read just a bunch of underling ants lingering in the cracks." Brother Ha replies, "So what? They had to cultivate to the supreme realm in the outside world to have a chance to step into this land of eternal life. They are so powerful that to us they are no different from saints. People born here like us only know how to cultivate slowly to chase after them, but I heard our starting point is much higher. Newborns back in their hometown haven't even reached the martial king realm yet." Gujoxi turns around with a sly smile and asks, "Wudi, have you figured it out yet? Which saint sect shall we become disciples of?" The narcissist continues, "Anyway, among the three of us, your talent is the highest, while I, Gujoxi, to put it modestly, am peerlessly handsome with exceptional talent that makes 10,000 people envious." Gujoxi points into the distance, "And as for that eccentric guy, let's just count him as one. Why don't the three of us apprentice under the same saint? We were childhood sweethearts who grew up together anyway. Entering the same sect will make it easier to look out for each other later." That eccentric guy, De Jingshen, stands with his arms crossed in the distance, looking coldly and contemptuously. "Saints? What kind of stature do saints have to dare teach me?" Da Jingshen raises his chin with extreme arrogance. "Only the strongest person in the world is worthy of being this De Jingshen's master. I must become a disciple of the strongest saint venerable." Hearing this, Gujoxi's face twists. "Small fries like us getting accepted as disciples by a saint is already a blessing accumulated by our ancestors over several lifetimes. Above saints are holy monarchs, and you're already asking to apprentice under a saint venerable. Jingshen, if you don't have that kind of fate, stop daydreaming." Awudi steps forward to analyze. "Saints are in the third heaven. We can still climb the heavenly ladder to try our luck. As for the holy monarchs in the sixth heaven, you expect to climb up with blind faith. I've never even heard of a path leading up there." The three of them look up at the lofty sky, secretly thinking about the mysterious saint venerable all the way up in the ninth heaven. Gujoxi quickly advises, "Big Brother has already ruled. Let's just be content and become disciples of a saint. I've inquired around. Lion Saint recruits students very easily, guaranteed admission." Awudi pats De Jingshen's head to comfort him. "Jingshen, I know your talent is astonishing. Don't worry, saints are definitely not our stopping point. That ninth heaven, Big Brother will definitely charge into it together with you." The three shadows stand looking up at the high sky as if they are peeing outside. Dark-eyed De Jingshen continues, "You still have to have dreams. What if one day they actually come true?" Suddenly, a pitch-black shadow with a glowing halo appears behind them and praises, "You guys really have great spirit." All three of them jumped in fright, sweat pouring down like rain at this uninvited appearance. The grandfather and grandsons hurriedly leaped up in defense, shouting in unison, "What the heck, who is that?" The dark shadow raised a hand in a compassionate salute and said, "Amitabha." "A very familiar figure indeed, my friends," he continued. "I am the saintly venerable of the seven mysteries. I just happened to pass by and saw the three of you overflowing with heroic spirit, so my hands itched and I wanted to join in the fun." The old man started talking like a pyramid scheme recruiter. Confucius said, "Meeting one another is a matter of destiny. I see that the three of you are young, yet your bones and muscles are refined. You are truly rare talents of the century. Why don't you become disciples under this saintly venerable? What do you say?" Gujoxi shouted, exposing him, "I know all the titles of the saintly venerable ones already. There's no one named the saintly venerable of the seven mysteries." And he also folded his hands and said, "Besides, if you want to take apprentices, why are you still shining a headlight straight into our faces, making it impossible for us to see your appearance?" The old man immediately flicked the switch to turn off the light, smiled sheepishly, and said, "Oh, I just thought that having a halo behind my head would look more mysterious and badass. As for why you have never heard of my title, it is because today is the very first day I have set foot in this eternal land." Well, saying it like that isn't quite accurate. It should be the first time I've come to the eternal land of this world. Later on, there will probably be many more newly promoted saintly venerables appearing. And I, the saintly venerable of the seven mysteries. The old man proudly and boldly declared, will forever be the strongest saintly venerable in history. Then he abruptly lowered his tone, glared, and asked, "I'll ask you one more time." A rolling wave of dark, murderous aura surged up behind his back. The three of you. A terrifying pressure weighed down on them, causing all three to crash face first onto the ground. He shouted loudly, "Will you agree to take me as your master or not?" Awudi and Gujoxi were crushed flat against the ground, crying tears without tears. Just a single sentence and the pressure is already this terrifying. This is even more overpowering and terrifying than the saintly figures I've heard about. Suddenly, the old man withdrew his pressure, grabbed Yixingchen's shoulder and laughed it off. Oh my, I am so sorry I got a bit too deep into this villain role and accidentally stayed in character." He continued to flatter himself, "But this should be enough for you to see my true strength. Rest assured, I am the best teacher you could possibly find." Leaning in close to their faces, he dropped a bombshell statement, "From eternity past until now, you have been destined to be my disciples. I don't have time to chit-chat with you anymore. Let's get right into our very first lesson while it's still hot. He waved his hand to summon a floating golden cauldron. In this cauldron is condensed all of my martial arts experience. This is the first lesson, and it just might be the last lesson I ever teach you. He controlled the cauldron to suck all 3 of them inside. Feel free to give it your all and comprehend as much as you can. The old man smiled craftily and instructed, when time's up, this cauldron will automatically release you and disappear, but by then, I'll surely have slipped away from here. Hawudi struggled, using his hands to grip tightly onto the rim of the cauldron so he wouldn't be sucked in too deeply. He poked his head out and shouted, "Senior, no master, where are you planning to go? Didn't you say we share the destiny of master and disciple?" The old man turned his head back and cast an extremely cold and badass gaze at him. The old man looked up at the sky as dark clouds gathered and said, "I naturally must ascend to the 9th heaven." The old guy raised a finger and declared, "If I don't give those holy venerables up there a proper beating, how could I join the security council? Oops, slip of the tongue, I mean, how could I prove that I am the strongest?" Ho Invincible cried out in despair, "Then where will we go to find you in the future? Moreover, master, besides your title, we don't have any information about you at all." The old man struck a dashing pose and said, "As for your master, well, just consider my surname to be Sun and call me the Great Sage. From now on, you are strictly forbidden from blabbing to anyone that you are my disciples." He pointed at the golden cauldron and added, "As for how to find me, I have already carved the method inside the cauldron." He turned his back, his hair fluttering in the wind. "Oh right, and there is one more extremely important thing. From now on, don't call me master anymore." Suddenly, a stray hair poked out as the old guy continued, "Call me the Sect Leader." The old man flashed a smug, radiant, and incredibly handsome smile. "Calling me that sounds more intimate and warm. By now you've probably guessed which multi-level marketer this old guy is, right everyone? Tee hee.